rings. Priscilla there. And finally show up for work. You guys don't know my hand, so she's oh great. Anyway, oh, man, I gotta take care of that. I'll be back. Gravity. Okay. All right. Hi. Nothing on YouTube channel. I messaged Twitter, and so far no response. I can try again. They probably didn't see it because I did during the weekend. So not that I'm gonna have much of an answer. Yeah, I can just delete the tweet or send it again. Yeah. So there's that. Denial of service, you can say. All right, so double life Earth timeline. I don't know why this came through, but we'll see how it goes. Like, this doesn't mean you have to tap too deeply into it. But we are going to go from timeline to timeline. And there are timeline wars and everything, but it's like you go left, you go right, you go whatever, or you're directed to go towards a certain direction, and so on. So that's why I'm talking about the parallel life, or there's different ways of looking at it. Either like when it's like right next to us, or just a totally different one, and so on. But either way, we'll tap into that frequency just kind of came through. Well, it's guessing you can say the one I'm tapping into is like the one of suffering and the one of where you don't have to suffer. Like the mind feels like it needs to suffer, and the mind, the mental, where it can take you to a not so great position. But then again, the universe can intervene and just like, you know what, you don't have to do this. It's like, okay, you put yourself through enough suffering for no reason. Because a lot of people self-sabotage a lot. It's like, you know what, okay, you went through some of that. You don't have to destroy yourself. You can turn things around, something like that. Of course, some need to destroy themselves, but whatever. Not everybody has to do it. Let's put it that way. Something like that. I don't know, just throwing it out there. It might be confusing beyond confusion. But anyway, to add to confusion, 5D Pleiadian deconstruction. I mean, you can call it reconstruction, deconstruction, whatever you want to call it. Because we're going in kind of a weird zone right now of the unknown. Doesn't mean we're gonna have like an economic meltdown, but things aren't so great. Things are scaling down. I am tapping into, because I'm doing that music channel stuff. Of course, I'm probably pissing a lot of people off with that, but nothing. Of course, I can do some of the comedy stuff about Joe Biden clone factory. Working on that one. I've been mentally working on that one. Like, there's just, you have a female Joe Biden, you have a waitress from Joe Biden, you have a drag queen Joe Biden, you have like a farmer Joe Biden, all that stuff. Anyway. It's amazing when you find Area 51. So anyway, it's like a joke sketch. Not to say there's not probably not some realism there. But what I'm getting at is like the robot society that's slowly coming in. I've probably been tapping into it, I've been tapping into a lot of stuff, the AI stuff that's been coming through, and not that it's going to here to take us over or anything like that. But obviously, people and their fears and all that. But another consciousness is coming here, and there will be less. The population will cool down eventually. Well, we just and that's the world's going to come to an end. That would make things a lot easier. But more of the, we had the industrial revolution. Now we're having more like the robotic revolution. It's just the way it is. But it doesn't mean that's like the end of humanity and everything. I mean, we already have cars, and he's so against technology. Why are people driving a car? Oh, that's okay. But it's like, well, there's AI in that too. Not that I'm focused on the AI stuff, but just technology in general is just kind of just, it's going to happen, you like it or not. So, because, the internet, it has its ups and a lot of downs. So, but that has nothing to do with the Pleiadian energy might be able to tap into that. So I'm tapping into something is what I'm getting at of, what's to come eventually. So, but nothing to worry about. What are we going to do? If you want to survive it, you will survive it. If you don't want to survive it, which many are doing on their self-sabotage direction. Yeah, that one's a funny one because, interesting. It's like, well, it's like, I guess you can say that things are meant to be, they're meant to be. You can run away from it all day long. It doesn't mean it has to be a bad thing. Yeah, it's. I'll write in my next book in 20 years, 50 years. SimonTone.com, private sessions, maybe. Schedule, still might change this around. I have to go through all that. Just make it look a little nicer, maybe. It works, so that's good. Change this around, make it look a little bit easier to navigate. Add some stuff here and there. I don't know if it helped anything, but a little bit easier to look at. All right. All right. Go to parallel timelines and just. I'm tapping into it for a reason. So wherever it needs to go from there. Sorry, blessings. Brings to the consciousness of parallel life, parallel realities that your fractal self, your spiritual self, of course, you're always testing things out too. So your spiritual self and your human self are living two different experiences. Your spiritual self, does guide your human self to go through challenges because it needs it, because you can't experience it where your non-physical self is. So you're in the vehicle of challenge. Of course, spiritually, non-physically, there's still challenges there too. But the challenges here in the physical are necessary. Yeah, it's kind of like bumper cars in some ways. River rapids, it can get... You have an idea of what we're getting at. So you're always tapping into other realities of yourself, of course, and switching things around. Sometimes you run into someone that's very difficult mentally. Sometimes you examine it. Sometimes you're patient with it, which is good. And other times either you get in the boot to move forward or kick him out of your reality. Usually it's to push, give him a boot to move forward. Now those are afraid of change, such as like a marriage. It can still happen. It'll find its way to make it work. Or like those of you that have kids, it's like, well, I have this kid, what's up with this? That is also, well, it's kind of like you talk yourself into it. Well, it doesn't mean, well, you talk yourself into a circumstance where it will happen unconsciously. So even the reason why so many people are in bad relationships and end up with children afterwards, well, you know, out comes the kid, and that was the point. It's like magic, kind of. It's like two rocks hitting each other and creating another one, you could say, or however you want to look at that. It is necessary. Difficult, yes, but the more you go with the flow of it, the better. The more you fight it, harder it gets. You can make things harder, or you can make things easier. And those that make it harder, mentally, sometimes they're just trying to force a reality that just will not happen. There's a lot of that's going on. If you just calm the mind and just go with the flow of your existence, which is not easy because some of you would much rather move out of the challenges. Sometimes you're going through the challenges of others. But of course, your own, it's not always going to make itself clear. But your double life connections there is always a more positive incarnate or a timeline or incarnation, you could say, that you can tap into. But it doesn't, sometimes it makes things going slower. And so that's why I take on the challenges to speed things up. Yeah, it might be turbulent, it might be hell, but you don't have to go through it again. So there's just all these different factors that's not going to make any sense. And there are lifetimes where you can just take it's just suffering. It's just a suffering timeline, but you can handle it also. You might get tired of it. Understood. But you'd be surprised how many just create suffering. But you see other suffering, it's like, wow, so they kind of make problems for themselves. They don't have to. So that's always curious. It's never that work. Like sometimes someone to drown them, like not drown, but almost drown, but then somehow they're always pulled out of it. Because what are you doing with yourself? Why do you keep trying to destroy yourself? And also traumas. Well, traumas also, it's kind of like some do hold on to the traumas more than they might realize it. And sometimes holding on to the traumas, sometimes holding on to the person too that caused the trauma. And they're not always aware of that. So they really not let those things go, and they're trying not to because they kind of want it back or don't want it back or just feel sorry for yourself, whatever it might be. So, but in this awakening, there's times you might feel like there's different versions of you that you can actually see, feel. It's kind of like the weather has changed, and now you can pick up on those type of things. When you're going through the challenge, it's hard to see it. Obviously, you can say, you know what, there's a better life out there, isn't there? And there probably is. And it's like looking at you, and it's like, keep going, or whatever it might be. Well, if you go through a challenging incarnation, there'll always be the opposite, an unchallenging one. But the challenges do keep your soul, healthy, if it doesn't feel that healthy. And there are missions here, as you can see, that are to assist humanity, and those are some of the more difficult incarnations because you're just service to others, but you get tired of being service to others because you're not getting served at all. What you want, you're just getting what you need, and it's like a military mission. It's different than an angelic mission. It's not angelic lifetimes can be very still your service to others, but you still have like a light around you when you're in a military type of service to other lifetime. And there isn't much glory to it. So blessings. Greece, Pleiadians, blessings. Right now, some are denying themselves happiness, soul growth. Denial energies, not everyone's doing, but certain ones. Yeah, when you hit the denial energy, that's not a good vibe. Also, the universe gets tired of people trying to ruin their lives. They don't have to. And the universe can't intervene. Well, basically, universal consciousness is like you're signed up for a certain timeline, and it kind of stepping away, like, yes, even like a possible marriage, things like that. of they're just like trying to push away from it. It's like, by the way, you signed up for this. It's going to happen, if you like it or not. We'll find a way to make it work. And it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Just some people are used to feeling sorry for themselves, things like that, and they kind of make a career out of it. And there's a lot of that happening here. So yeah, it's just sometimes entertainment to feel terrible about yourself. I don't know. Just some souls are just not. They just swim in a pond that is no longer habitable, and they still do it. They don't even know why. It's like you're dancing by yourself. You don't have to anymore. But as for reality, your timeline that you're living now, this economic turbulence, well, it's like, yeah, it's a game. You can say the pieces are being moved around, or you can say the terrain, the major timelines are being shifted around. That's not going to make itself that clear. So it is not an easy time, but it is a fascinating time. Also, like certain people with certain mindsets are going to start changing the way they look at things, which is good. Now you had that in 2020, but this is different. This is more, kind of like a creeping up on you type of energy than the other one. The other one's like 2020 is like right in front of you, or all around you, or wherever you want to see. What's happening now is like it's like a ghost almost that will appear. It's like a timeline. It's like a timeline ghost. It's like a reality that's slowly coming in. It's not revealing itself, and you feel like you're changed as you see what's going on with Ivan's timeline and everything. It's like, what's going on with that? We can't go into that. To give you a good example, so you see, yes, that's showing you being moved around. For the better. Well, yeah, it's weird. It's like musical chairs. It's almost like like moving to another state and things like that. It's kind of like that too. And it's like, yes, you can be pushed out of one place into another. Let's put it that way. And obviously, there's no way back. A lot of ways. So you're just seeing your reality be shuffled around. And it is for the better. It might not be what you're looking for, but it is actually more for spiritual development, deeper actually. Going for those that want to go even further, yes, parallel realities. It needs basically also kind of opening up more of these realms to share with others or yourself, whoever. A more deeper outlook into your planet, how it operates. Most people won't get it. But because some of you are tapping more, because as you get older, you tap more into where you came from. Are you allowed to know all the details? You're not to know portions of it. Like you might see Agartha, the inner earth, or just the inner earth in general. I mean, like how the earth even operates through the different dimensions, things of that sort. What is necessary here for your you're just tapping into your source energy. And you're just kind of like connecting to like the phone book of your or the library of yourself. Sometimes it's phone book because you're still dialing out to other places, or you're calling out to other like a phone operator, connecting to your other timelines to bring it in here. And everything might seem normal right now, sort of, but in the next like 10 years it'll be far different. So you're seeing the changes now. As for artificial intelligence, it's still going to. I mean, yes, there'll be some useful, unuseful energy, but it's a tool. That's all. No, there's no robots going to take over the planet. They already have those, but they're not going to do it. But service robots, we still have ways for that. Society is letting go of this reality. So you have less humans here. But that doesn't mean you're not done with this incarnate. Well, some are going like the Industrial Revolution removed a lot of jobs, and now you're seeing it again in a different form. You already saw it coming. And yeah, you're going to see more automated restaurants. Yeah, the fast food place will have probably no employees, sometimes one or two employees, most likely. And sometimes the food might be better, maybe, probably not. But yeah, you'll see more automated. Even your grocery stores become more automated too. But also, society will find a way to be more social, not necessarily online. It'll have more social gathering places eventually. It just has like the Greek, something like a Greek temple type of energy. Not exactly, but you'll still, because online can only do so much. Well, I think like online. I think like you're taking society like from the 70s, 80s, 90s that can mingle and talk to each other like normal people, and put it online for right now. It's not great, but you'll find who you need to find no matter what. And then now it's being brought back into your reality once everything gets moved around. So right now, just if you're meant to find somebody, well, you can be an app, can be anything, can be your cat, dog, can help you find somebody, whatever. They'll find it if it's necessary. It is good to put it out there. It's good to be a part of society in some form or another. So,